Hey guys, I am back in my little alternate area upstairs. Quiet. Not the greatest, but you know what? We're going to take a look at RavenCrest. And the saga of getting this here is just been... Anyway, let's look at RavenCrest for May. Obviously, we've got a folding knife this month. So this guy... I got my shipping notification originally, and I have a tracking app on my phone, and it showed nothing. I guess a whole batch of, well, first of all, I get 2 every month. So for some reason, when I updated my card, because I got a new card, one of them went to just automatically reverted to my old information, and nobody thought to call me or anything, so it was on hold. So it's finally, hopefully, shipping soon. Or should be here soon. This one, the original one, when it shipped out, got a tracking number that went nowhere, got lost in transit or whatever they said, I guess it happened to a bunch of people, and then they had to ship a new one, but. Apparently they knew about the problem, didn't tell anybody else about the problem. They just sort of quietly fixed it until I had called and said, what is this? It's been like a week or 2 since it was shipped out, and there's no tracking, no change on the information. What is up? So it's been a little frustrating dealing with this month. And, great, very polite customer service folks on the phone, but I've just been very upset dealing with RavenCrest lately. The last few months have not left me with as good a feeling for the product as I've had lately. So let's see what we've got this month, though. Remember that one month when we got the really nice box? That was cool. Well, that looks a little different. Is that G10? I guess that's G10. I haven't even checked on the website to see if this is up there yet. So very, very kind of different. Really reminds me of the Monkey Edge frag pattern scales. Standard RavenCrest clip, that hasn't changed. Looks like one position. Right hand, what are you sniffing, Tato? Right hand, tip down only. Standard kind of thumb studs. Nice grippiness, though, with that kind of, whatever you want to call it, checkerboard, frag pattern, whatever. Is that actually yeah, that's G10. But standard construction for a RavenCrest knife. Decent centering. Back to the shiny, I don't like it coating, unfortunately. You can see that there. There we go. Interesting. Where I'm at, the lighting ends up with these not great shadows, but I wanted to get this up, not wait. So, simple drop point shape, hollow grind blade. Not the cheap coating, but nice, kind of change for the handle pattern. It's comfortable. Flipper doesn't seem to bite down into the hand at all. Decent jimping, not great up the thumb ramp. Gonna have to break that flipper in a little bit. Or, it might just be a weak detent there, but... So, push button, light switch. Thumb stud deployment is actually very, very nice. The jimping on the liner lock there, a little rough on the thumb, but it works. Love the thumb stud deployment. That is fantastic. Hate the coating. Hate the shiny black coating. We had that one really nice matte black coating 1 month. I don't know what happened. No steel marking on the blade. Again, that seems to be their thing lately. Just the RavenCrest chicken. Lightweight, off balance a little bit front heavy, but not too bad. I gotta be honest though, it feels and looks a little cheaper than some of the other RavenCrests we've gotten. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure why it feels so much lighter. You know, they do such a great stone wash. It's just whenever they send a coated blade, I feel like it's got a much cheaper look to it. And these scales, there's something about them. Their G10 scales are nice, but they just, something there makes them and feel and look a little cheap to me. I'm not sure why. I don't know. So we've got bearings, not just washers. I think the thumb stud deployment is so much snappier and crisper than the flipper deployment. Now, if we were to open that up and give it a little bit of oil, it might make it work a lot better. I'm not sure. Not bad. As I say, not bad. Really? Okay. You gotta hold the paper just right. I got some 550 here that Tato was sitting on. Thanks, Tato. Thanks for keeping track of this for me. Good boy. Let's do a little pull through. Not too bad. I've had worse. I've had much worse. Not great, but let's do a little slice. Yeah, not the cleanest cuts, but it's doing it. It's doing it pretty well. We've got a rigid little base below this sheet. The sheet's only here because the glare from the light above was horrible, but let's take a look at Lockup. See any change there? Oh. No stickiness. Haven't really changed the centering. Pretty good. I don't know how I feel about this one. I think it's a step up from last month, which I have. Here's the karambit from last month, which just happened to be right here. I like this clip better. I don't like the design of the knife, but the flipping action is much better on this one than on this one. You know, everything to me is judged really like the RavenCrest standard to me is the Fury and the Ambassador. Those are the two, in my opinion, top folding knives that RavenCrest has ever come out with. And it's hard for them to measure up, you know, anything compared to those two. And this one just, it has kind of a cheap feel compared to those. So I don't know. I just don't know. Definitely better than, you know, this one. Although this one does, this one actually has a more of a solid feel. Probably owed to the big metal backspacer leading to the karambit ring there. But is what it is. It's got a fairly reasonable price as RavenCrest go. So, you know, as a Ravenpac knife, it's $9.99. On the website right now, it's $29. Which is pretty good, I mean, for what you're getting. Again, 440C blade, G10 steel liners. So looking at the scores, you know, with the rating system, for originality and departure from past designs, it only gets a 2.5. I mean, yeah, it's got the cool, they're calling it the grenade texture, but the frag texture scales. But it's still very much a RavenCrest knife with the coating, with the clip, with the general layout and everything. It has not really departed very much from a RavenCrest knife at all. Fit and finish, though, all RavenCrest knives usually come with great fit and finish. Everything's done very well, so it gets a 4. For function and mechanics, I'm giving it a 3.5. It functions well. Bearings could be a little bit better. It does have that issue with the flip. And, that's important when you've got a flipper knife. It needs to flip reliably every single time, every single time. And then there's also the whole issue with the single mount clip, and you can't do anything else with it. Practicality and utility, again, losing some points, 3.5, owed mainly to the single position clip and issues with the flipping, because it is not going to give you that all-around EDC practicality that you might want if you can't carry it exactly as you want. Lefties get nothing out of this, and it worked well that time, but 3.5. Production and out of the box standards also gets a 3.5. Owed mainly to, I cannot stand the poor quality of this coating. They really need to change that coating to something better. They really do. And the bearings should probably be upgraded a little bit, as we can see here. For comfort and feel, though, comfort and feel is really good. Comfort and feel on this one is actually going to get a 4.5. It's a very comfortable knife. You've got great texturing with the pattern there. It's not one of the most comfortable ones I've felt, but it is a very comfortable knife to hold. Nicely contoured. As RavenCrest goes especially, very comfortable. The clip doesn't really bite into the hand or anything. Very nice. So good marks there. For cool factor, I gave it a very odd score. I went with a 3.8 because they tried really hard. I think that it's got a really aggressive, nice drop point blade. I'm not crazy about the coating or anything. I really like what they did with the pattern on the scale. I think it is kind of, it is a little bit of a conversation piece when people see that. I think they could have done more. I wanted to give it more than just a 3.5, but I didn't want it to go as high as a 4. So I put it at 3.8 for the cool factor. For quality materials, this is one where we could debate a little bit. I like 440C steel. When done right, 440C steel is an excellent steel for a blade. When done right, when heat treated right. The G10, with that amount of machining and everything, that's an expensive process. And, bearings on a knife is always a quality touch. I think RavenCrest, like I said before, should upgrade their bearings, but went with 3.5 for the quality materials. That is killing me. For rarity, value of ownership, collectability, though, I went with a 3 because it is the kind of thing that, just about anybody can get their hands on. However, RavenCrest tends to, I think, buy in large batches, and then that's it, they sell out. So while there is a great opportunity for a lot of people to get their hands on this, once they are kind of sold out, they're sold out. So it's a knife for the masses, but it also does have kind of like a finite life for you to get your hands on it. So it's unique in that account. So 3. And then finally, value to price ratio. Because they priced it reasonably, I gave it a 3.5. Had it been another one of those RavenCrest knives where they try to charge you $70-$80 for 440C, and the standard RavenCrest, it would have gotten a much lower score. But I think 3.5 is fair for what you're getting here. I think that, and again, it's all in the heat treat. A well-done 440C blade can do very well for you. But there's just something in the feel, I'm not sure, I can't describe it. But the reason I'm marking it down, because $29 for a nice 440C blade is okay, but if they can sell it to me for $9.99 for the Ravenpac subscription, then anybody buying it for $29, obviously could have gotten it for a much lower cost for the same value. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do you understand where I'm going there? And I'm going by not the Ravenpac price, but what it's listed for on the website. So, you know, if they can make a profit and they can sell it to people for $9.99 initially, then it obviously cannot have the same value to price ratio at $29 that it does at $9.99, if you guys are following me there. I really like it for $9.99, obviously. It just sort of puts that little bit of a bad taste in my mouth to say then, well, I can't compare it at $30 the same way I would at 1/3 the cost, you know, and say it's got the same value to price. But so when we take all the scores, we look at it, it's got an average overall of 3.53, all because I threw in the 3.8 in there and messed it all up. So it's going to have a very unique score. But 3.53 out of 5 overall rating for this guy. I like it. I like the shape. I would love this with just a stonewash blade. I think if they did the stonewash that they do so well, I think it would have an entirely different kind of look and feel to it. Not physical feel, but you know what I mean. It is a nice departure from some of the standard stuff they've been doing, though. So what do you guys think of the May RavenCrest? Questions, comments, concerns? That's usually something I throw on at the end of mission briefings, but what do you guys think? Anybody? I know a lot of folks have told me they've given up on their RavenCrest subscriptions over the last few months. I've been sticking with it because I think they make for good unboxings, but they also, you know, interesting knives. I want to see if they're going to bounce back to what we like them to be. So really interested in seeing what you guys think. So please do comment. Please do check out all the links in the video description. Thank you guys for supporting this channel the way you all always do, through whatever means you find acceptable, necessary, and enjoy. I appreciate every single one of you. You are all absolutely awesome, and I will be back again real soon.